to Indie Film Cafe. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I'm here with...
Paulie Presenza, known as the Moo Cow. Moo!
And we just watched... Tsunambee!
Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
And it was unbelievably bad.
It was pretty bad.
Oh my god.
It was awful. And he's going to do a lot of bad B-puns because...
Oh yeah. Clearly these guys didn't have a clue when they were making this movie.
They did not. It was so bad.
Buzzkill if you were looking for this film to be a good movie, but yeah. No.
No, it was awful.
I don't even know where to begin to describe
All right, well, I
this.
guess we can just kind of sort of explain kind of what the story's about a little bit, I guess. Like a teeny tiny bit, because
Sure.
like there really wasn't... it was very hard to explain. So it starts off with this woman, I guess. But I thought it was a man at first, but he said she had boobs, so I'm pretty sure she was a woman. And then we found out later she was through the credits or whatever.
The eyes see what the eyes see. I can't help it.
But yeah, so we were watching the movie, and so this woman is like I guess making a cross or something, and that's it. Like that's like the beginning of the thing is like she's walking through this area, and then it begins, and then we kind of see. I don't know where we are. It's supposed to be in Los Angeles, I guess, but there's these people that are.
Yeah, no, we were nowhere near Los Angeles.
Well, it's supposed to be, but
Supposed to be.
And then at one point I thought it was supposed to be South Africa or something because like they let the bees out of South Africa or something is my thought, but like
don't know.
no, they never explain where they are. They just have people walking in the woods, and then the bees attack, and then we kind of go into like
CGI bees, by the way, bad CGI bees.
CGI bees, and then on top of that, they go into this like post-apocalyptic world where like all of a sudden things are just like blowing up and fire is starting and CGI helicopters, CGI everything. The only thing that wasn't CGI was the people, and I felt like they should have been.
I know it. You know, this movie stings to watch this. It really bugged me. It was so bad. And what's worse, you know, in addition to the bad acting, the bad direction, and the bad CGI and effects, I mean, the bickering, and it's just so dull, and it just droned on and on.
Okay, so to continue going, yes, I get. So continue going along with the story. So apparently they never explain why this happens or whatever, but apparently three friends or two, like a brother and sister and another guy, are like are pointing their guns at these other two guys.
I guess they're gang members because they're wearing yellow
and black.
and black, like a bee.
Like a bee. So that was like sort of the hints, I guess.
Hello.
And so then they get like kind of, I mean, so the sheriff shows up to stop these people or whatever, and all the people want to do is just go to the next town and get away from all this craziness that's happening. And the sheriff is like, at first is like, no, we're not going to let you do that. And then the bees come, and then they tell her to stay, and then they decide, oh, I'm the guys who's been saying, hey, sheriff, we want to go, we need to go, can we go? When he sees the bees, he just stands there like a lunatic, basically.
I mean, this is like a 20-minute scene that should have only taken 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, of course, because the whole movie was just like that.
Oh, I know.
Made up of scenes that like just go on and on, talking and talking and talking. So the sheriff joins these other people. Then they somehow almost go off a cliff. And then there's a lot of stupidness with the cliff. Like it just gets ridiculously.
It's a lot of bad
once
behavior.
Again,
they were wigging it.
see what I have to put up with? He's been doing this all day.
I'm sorry.
So anyway, so they end up getting off the cliff. Like the car crashes. They realize they have to go on foot, and one of them dies. One of these things it kills them and turns them into a zombie.
Of course, because that's always what happens.
Zombie.
There you go.
Which is what it should have been called.
Right.
Because the movie has nothing to do with the tsunami. There's no tsunami in it whatsoever.
No. It was the wrong pun that they decided to name the film.
I think literally there was another movie with zombie in it in the title.
Could very well be.
they did it or something. But no, it was awful.
You can, imagine another zombie movie.
I hope not.
It could be just pawing our legs. Anyway, there's a lot of convenient stuff that just pops up, like these earthquakes. I don't even know why they're happening. I guess it's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be the end of the world. It's supposed to be apocalyptic. There's supposed to be all these things. It goes into a very Christian thing that kind of drone on and on and on about
layers of it.
Christianity and praying.
You have to have faith.
You have to have faith. All this bull crap that has nothing to do with the movie at that time.
Yeah.
Like seriously, most people would be like, even if they thought it was the end of times, they would not be acting like this.
No.
They would just be trying to figure out how to survive at the end of times,
And they would not just be bickering over stupid little things every 5 seconds.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't even want to go more into, they go to a farmhouse and then...
Forever. It takes them forever.
It takes them forever, and then they're there forever. I mean, they're in there for the rest of the movie, basically.
And then at one point, she's like, we have to get out of here because there's only an hour of daylight left or darkness left, and the bees are going to be active in sunlight. Well, A, why not just move when it's dark instead of waiting until there's only an hour of darkness left? And B, they never even leave. They just sit there and argue the entire time. And, it's ridiculous. Of course.
And then they had to get the car out of the garage, and there's a zombie in there, and then there's
Buzzing
also
around.
well, no, I mean there's an actual zombie. There's a guy who tries to attack them, and then they get in the car and they leave, and then the one guy goes back into the house while the other guys stay in the car.
And we don't understand why.
Yeah, we don't understand why.
Reason.
There's no understanding of that at all. And then he goes and takes off and gets killed.
Right, the one guy, the Jesse, and then the other guy just gets his ass stung. I don't understand why he ran through the bees anyway. Why didn't you just drive the car there?
Why don't you just drive the car up into right at
the entire time I'm kept rooting for the bees to kill everyone. But the damn bees, they...
Even the ones that you think would be more fun of a character, like the sheriff would normally be the person, guy or girl or whatever, that you'd be like, I at least there's somebody interesting, or something. The character was so obnoxious at times, and I just wanted...
Hated them all.
I wanted them all to die.
Die quickly, but no.
But no, of course, they have to torture us throughout the whole thing. And then on top of that, there's... it sort of ends with us finding out later that apparently there was the queen is in human form somehow or another, which never explained why that is even possible.
And it was one of the characters that was with them the whole time, the one with the accent that we couldn't understand.
But see, here's what really bothered me was that they didn't plant that early on or anything. That's never something that popped up as a conversation. It pops up later on as a flashback to something that I don't even remember where that conversation even would happen, or whatever. And so it's just...
It was part of one of the several false beginnings of the film where you think it's actually going to begin, but it doesn't. First you've got the weird chick who turns out is the little girl at the end of the movie. We don't know that because we haven't met that person yet. Just wandering around and making crosses and sticking them in the ground.
And she looked nothing like the little girl. And anyway, I never would have even imagined that would have been the same person.
And then, that's not the start. And then you get, these people who are in Africa, I guess, and it's like a professor and a bunch of people, and they're wandering around and they see a bunch of beehives, and then they get very upset because there are beehives there, and they say we should leave, and then the bees kill them all.
Right.
You don't see it, by the way. It just kind of flashes, and that's it.
Right, and then you never see that again. They're kind of brought back in through flashbacks or whatever, but they're not part of the actual storyline.
No. He's only there as a convenience that you find out later on with the whole idea that the queen is turned into human form, and that's the only reason it's there.
But that is, it makes no sense for the rest of anybody else, any of the other characters. They wouldn't even know that. No. So why does the audience need to have that, flashback? I don't know. It was.
This movie was a low, dull, throbbing headache of a film. It was just so bad, and it just drove me nuts.
It just kept going on and on and
It
on.
droned.
And when you thought it was over, they give you like 10 more minutes.
Yes, because
you
God
know.
knows you have to. I guess they figure they shot it. They may as well throw it on there. And that picture, you see once for like not even 5 seconds. That's it. That's it as far as the special effects or makeup goes. That's it.
That's the coolest part of the whole movie,
Right.
and it's used for 5
And
seconds.
she's only that zombie queen, later, much at the very, 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 very end when you have to listen through all of their bickering and horse shit. It's just bad. Oh my goodness.
It was horrible. We kind of hope that the director has made something else.
Milko.
Well, it's funny because
Something.
in this credits, in this thing, it says there's 2 directors, right? It says directed by Milko Davis and Thomas Martwick. In the actual movie, it's only credited as Milko Davis.
Right, as the writer and director.
Right.
Thanks,
So, well, I mean, I guess Thomas wanted his name off the.
Milko. You think?
Get my name off of this because
He was the
awful.
doubting Thomas. Oh, yeah.
You went biblical right there, folks.
Oh, yeah. Well, the whole movie had some kind of weird Christian biblical
I know, but like
stuff
that,
going
so that's
on.
perfect.
That, I don't know. And what's weird is that, like, for moments when there should be action, that's when they decide that they're going to start talking about irrelevant horseshit from the past that doesn't have anything to do with anything, and you have to sit there and suffer through it.
Ugh.
It's just bad. It's just, oh.
Yeah, we it was hard for us to watch. I mean, and we watch crap all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we love crap generally.
We do.
You know.
It
Oh, shit,
definitely
hold on,
stung a little.
Okay. It definitely stung pretty
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, it was bad. And there's no explanation for any of this. I mean, there's no explanation as to why there's some kind of end times. I think the little girl says something along the line of, "The bees came because God was angry."
Well,
Okay.
no, but that's like she said that's what her father said,
I
or
guess,
something like
yeah.
and her father was just this crazy farmer who, who's just upset that his mom
But
or his wife got killed.
She's the one who talks to God. Remember, God says, "God told me to tell you that you should be really nice and
Yeah,
brave."
see that
and
was
blah, blah,
that
blah, blah.
annoyed me because you never see like her talking to God or anything like that. Would have been interesting. See, there were so many things that could have been cool that they could have gone with it to make it like more like a biblical kind of thing that would have been interesting. But no, they had to put the whole movie into like bickering mode and
Right.
yelling at each other.
And then finally, at the very end, in order to save themselves because of yet another earthquake and the house starts cracking up and the bees are getting in, they say, "We better pray." So they sit on the floor and close your eyes and have faith, and they say a couple of meaningless words, and all of a sudden, everything is wonderful. Yay!
Oh, you want to hear also what one of my least favorite parts of this thing was? We were talking about this earlier, but there's a part with okay, so the beginning of the movie, you see that what's the guy's name? JB.
Mm-hmm.
JB. His brother is killed somehow, like killed by a cop. You don't see who the cop is. You know it's a female cop or whatever, right? And you don't even know it's a cop. It like literally looks like just some person walking down the alleyway
Right.
and shooting at him.
This guy's like running, and she like walks 2 steps. Running, takes 2 steps.
And then he goes and he says something like, "Get out of the way," or "Go," whatever he's saying. And the woman shoots at the guy for no reason.
Because he's
whatsoever.
already there. She's already there. She covered all that distance when he had to run.
Right. But like, see, I thought it was going to go a different route. I thought that would have some point to the plot of the story. But no, I thought like this would kind of be cool. Like, what is going on here? Is there somebody who's going around killing people, and is this something that's above the bee stuff, or whatever? No.
Well, the only tie-in is that, of course, the survivors, JB and his crew just happened to be trapped in the same farmhouse as the woman, the sheriff, who turns out to be the person who shot the brother.
How does he not know that the whole fucking time?
Because he's a fucking moron up until the last 5 seconds. That's
Even then, though, he's still a moron, because why do you fucking go and like argue about that, like cry
And
about that.
the
like,
little kid puts a cap in his ass. That was
I
the
know.
funniest part.
That was the best part.
It
Like
really was.
And then I heard him looking, go, now shoot everybody else. Like,
Well, I thought one of the bees did it because I was like, who did that?
yeah, that made me crack up.
That would've been
like,
funny.
That would have been funny if the bee did it, because we were like, well, how did he get shot? Like, who shot him? The bee did it.
Oh, it's just should have shot
Now,
everyone.
see, I mean, that would make as much sense as the rest of the movie did anyway. So if the bee
yeah.
shot him, I would have bought it, because at this rate, I have to buy everything else. I mean, this movie's just horrible.
It was just bad. It was bad, folks. What can I tell you?
Here's the thing. Wild Eye Releasing, who put it out, has sent us a whole bunch of movies.
I'm sorry, but
And some movies are gonna be probably terrible. So we might find some good movies in the, I already know that I have a bunch that are good, so it's just that when a company puts out like, probably 100 movies a year or whatever it is, there's gonna be some stinkers that are just so bad that it can't even be justified.
I mean, I was really hoping to see some of that, like people being stung or killed or chased by giant bees. No.
Oh, the bees were just normal, small little bees, and stuff. CGI small little
CGI bees.
And they were just, it was bad. The giant bees would have been cool, but there are no giant bees in this movie. I mean, you literally see that right there. It's just little teeny tiny bees.
Yeah, they're very similar to like sort of the CGI birds in Birdemic, only maybe not quite as bad.
And we did see CGI birds too,
We
which
did.
was, I mean, we wanted people to hit them with a clothes hanger.
There was a lot of CGI, a lot of bad CGI. At one point, the car was CGI
Right.
added in, and it was, it looked bad.
Like, it looked awful. It looked like, what are you doing?
And the cinematography and on the whole was poor. There were a couple of interesting shots here and there, but mostly it's all whited out and discolored, and so you can't see anything. You can't see anything beyond what's around the character's face. Yes, exactly, because they don't want you to see what's out there because it's probably somebody's backyard. I mean,
the whole movie was obviously made in people's backyards and shit, and so it was just. And look, I give the guys credit for making a movie, finishing it, and everything, and God knows that's a tough freaking thing
let's
to do.
be honest, it's not easy to just come up with a movie, even a B movie.
Yeah, a B movie, a BZ movie.
That's
you
right.
know, I give them credit for actually making it, and trying, but it was so bad.
Especially when you have a number of different people coming together to make this, and there's sort of hive mind kind of way. But it just didn't. I'm sorry, guys, it just didn't work this time.
No, but hopefully, they make another movie, and he has this feeling it'll be another stinker, because the people who made this movie probably can't,
Some
But-
lessons are not learned. It depends. I mean, let's look at our favorite guy, who made the really bad films that we watched that we loved. I can't think of his name right now. But he hasn't learned his lesson because all his movies are terrible. Every single one of them.
Yeah, well, no, and there's I know a
Fateful
bunch.
Findings.
Oh, God, now you're making me that. Remember
I
his
know,
name.
I can't remember anything.
The guy who made Fateful Findings.
Neil
Horrible.
Breen.
Neil Breen.
Neil Bean.
No,
He's
there
not
was-
learned his lesson. So.
Thankfully, there was no Breening in this movie.
No.
No, but I don't know. I think if Neil Breen made this movie, it'd be more fun.
It probably would have been more fun. And that's really the biggest problem I have. I don't really mind it being a bad movie or a silly movie or terribly done or bad CGI. I mean, usually that's part of the fun. There was no fun in this movie. It was just boring.
Yeah, it's just boring.
That's
It's
the
just a lot of
problem.
talk and very little action.
Bickering. Lots of bickering, and just I couldn't stand any of the non-characters.
Yeah. So, well, I guess if we can sum this movie up, don't watch it.
Yeah, it's a swing and a miss. What can I tell you?
It is, if it's gonna swarm into your living room, I would say use some kind of bee repellent,
That's
because
right.
it is one of those movies that you're not gonna like. And I hate saying that, because obviously, if you really want to see movie this bad, you're gonna watch it.
Right,
most likely.
right.
So if you're gonna watch it, I think it's on probably Prime or something. Go watch it on Amazon Prime for free.
Sure.
And then probably watch it for like 10, 15 minutes because I bet
You could
that's
stand
all,
it.
You know, we had to watch the whole thing because we had to review it. Because we have to have a review this month.
Even the false ending we watched, we had to sit
I know.
through.
Oh man, that was tough. I was like, oh man, it's over. All right.
No.
5 months later, and then they started off with the girl, ended it off with the girl, and it still made no sense.
Right, because all of a sudden she's an adult after 5 months.
Not only is that 5. It was
Said 5 months later.
Oh my God. Yeah, because it didn't go like 10 years, 20 years later. What in the world?
I don't know. It's just so weird. It's a lost cause.
I think the filmmakers probably don't even know why they did
You know,
this.
it probably makes sense to them in some way, shape, or form. It just was not translated well onto film. What can I tell you?
Well, all right, guys. If you guys want to see it, go see it. But we're warning you, it is not very good.
Don't be surprised at how bad this is.
Yeah, this is pretty bad. You know.
Eek.
Yeah, but you know, thank you Wild Eye for sending it to us and everything, having us review it. Cause
Not as bad as Die Hard Dracula, I'm telling you. There's that at least.
Well, is that at least entertaining?
It's a form of entertainment. I'll put it to you that way.
Oh,
I
yeah.
chuckled.
Chuckled.
Yes.
All right. Well, there you go. I don't think I chuckled once in this movie. No. And that was sad. Because, like, they have so many opportunities to kind of make jokes or
It was
have
more
fun.
groan-inducing or wincing.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to be
Yawning.
stuck together for, like, so long, at least have fun, you know, enjoy yourselves or something. But anyway, thank you guys for checking this out. Tune in for, I think in another month, it's going to be his turn to
I'll find something.
Die Hard Dracula or something like that to fucking torture me with. Because I just tortured him with this, which I tortured myself too because I had never seen it. So I had no idea it was going to be this bad. If I had watched it first, I probably would say, no, I don't think so.
And that's just it. You mean we both felt the same thing. It looked like it would be fun, had a great name, and had a great poster. Should be fun, right?
No. I might want to take movies home before and watch them before I will review them. Because
Sometimes you hit a home run when you do that, and you just watch a movie sight unseen. Sometimes it's a big flop.
this was a big flop. So, but anyway, thank you guys for checking this out. Hope this review was helpful to you if you wanted to see this movie or not. I believe we were probably one of the only ones who did this review.
Yeah.
We actually sat through it. I bet there's some bad reviews on Amazon, you know, and stuff like that.
Most
I'd love
likely.
to check those out at some point because I always kind of love to see what people have to say about this.
Right.
You know. But all right, well, thank you guys for checking out, and
We'll see you next time.
see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.